All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get underway here. Good to see you in the chat, Stacy. Good luck with Christian. I'm sure he's having fun. So today we have split picks for Sonoma. I think they just do that to, drum up interest in the race. But Carla taking SVG, AJ taking Brent Cruz, and Parker taking Shane Van Gisbergen. So we have a pretty stout field here. SVG starting P1. Alfredo and Retzloff, they were both really fast last week. Corey Day didn't even complete a lap. So we don't know how much speed the 17 has. Definitely these first two good picks. Taylor Gray was up there last week as well. Justin had a terrible week last week, so we'll keep an eye on how he's doing. Ross Chastain also in the field. Back. Connor Zelich starting in 30th. Does he have time? 79 laps to get to the front. We will see. Good to see you, Double A, and happy birthday, Michael. Happy birthday. 27. These West Coast start times are crazy. This is better than last week's truck race. I think we had a start time of 6:30. That was insane. Oh, we don't have the 71 car. Let's go ahead and grab that. Go ahead and show you guys the pedal. So I can now pull up our browser tab with the foot pedal. It's great. It's gonna speed things up by a whole 2 seconds. All right, let's go. Where is Leland Honeyman? There he is. Inspect. Save. All right, and did it pop in? It did. There it is. We are once again whole with all of our car numbers. I don't know who to believe there. I'll leave that in Stacy's hands. I need to go to the stream elements bot. Chat bot, chat commands, edit. All right. We have finally completed this. We updated the chatbot. So whenever you type exclamation DD12, it has the updated instructions. Go ahead and go to that website of unknown origin. And let's just check and see if the feed is working. It is working very well. this is so like the chat's definitely from Twitch. Like, I wonder how he does this. So if you guys aren't aware, DD12, the website a lot of people use to watch these races, was taken down the last week. They have relocated. That was the big news during the week. Isn't there a WWE event today? Night of Champions. It happened earlier. Good to see you, Lou. Austin Green in a backup car. I saw that wreck. It was a really hard wreck. All right, about to go green. If we get a replay of that wreck, we'll pull it up. All right, green flag. SVG clear to the lead. Brent Cruz clear in second. Where is Austin Hill? Starting 10th. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, Lou, it's Michael's birthday. Lou's going with Ryan Sieg. That is a bold choice. That's a very bold choice. It would be so hard to pick against SVG. Connor Zilch is buried back there, so he could get involved in someone else's incident. But we will be watching to see how he moves through the field. All right, SVG leads the first lap. For the most part, we've single filed out. No Fords again. Yep. Maybe if Dodge comes back to the sport next year, they'll force Ford's hand to invest a bit more in NASCAR. We'll see. All right, now Ryan Sieg 27th. We will see how that prediction plays out. $31 around. Lane Perkins. See what happened here. He just lost it on entry. Anthony Alfredo right now has our fastest lap. Could this be the day Fast Pasta gets up there and gets it done? My mouth is so dry. Michael says he's going with SVG this weekend. That's a solid pick. I think he doesn't really have anything to prove after last week. I just think he's going to want some kind of maybe vengeance for getting taken out last week. Twice. Let's take a look at Connor. What's Connor doing? Going 3 wide. He's moving. All right, where is Connor now? At this point, they already had him scored 22nd. Jesse Love with our Xfinity fastest lap. How about that? Yeah, Zilich in 21st right now. Moving pretty well. Oh. Oh, Zilich very sideways. Going to lose a spot there. Brandon Jones not able to get back by him. So Zilich back into 22nd. Here you go, grab my dog. I'll leave him. All right. Let's see if we can find a replay of Austin Green's really hard impact. A lot of NXT highlights. They don't have anything about Austin Green on the CW Twitter page. But we'll find it. All right, this is one of the views that I saw of the incident. Just a massive hit, and it ended up moving the barrier. Oh, yeah. The reverse camera angle. Good night. Thankfully, he was able to get out. Those tire barriers usually do a pretty good job. But look at all the energy that made it through. I mean, we saw a lot of moving barriers last week. And here we go. I've heard that's the reason why IndyCar never ran the hairpin, is if someone's brakes went out, it just would have been potentially extremely dangerous. It's like LeVar Scott around on the 45. He's going to continue. That was into the final turn. Little damage on the right front of that car. Nothing serious. Good night. Just sent these tires flying. A pack of tires. That's probably a few 100 pounds. Just up in the air. That's so much energy. Several cars around there. I was involved in the LeVar Scott spin in the hairpin. That's certainly not a place you want to lose your brakes at this track. Zillage back up to 21st. Good to see you, Jason. Going to get Chinese food. Very good choice. I need to order some fluids. I am really thirsty. Just woke up with a dry mouth. Caution is out. We have a tire carcass on the track. Wondering if this is from... Is that Kyle? Yeah, Kyle Sieg cutting down a right rear and leaving that carcass on track. That's going to bring out our first caution. You don't often get cautions at these road courses, but here we go. That's one. Loses Kenny Wallace, jinxed Kyle. Yeah, Jason, you got to take care of your knee, man. Get some ice, maybe some like Aleve or something, and try to keep it elevated. Keep that swelling down. Let it heal. It might be a slow process. We'll just have to see. I'm still healing as well. I really just want to go back and start hitting more golf balls, but I can't do it right now. Just having to be patient because I don't want to re-injure it or injure it worse. You removed the comment. Maybe you unjinxed him. Right now, I think Jesse Love might still have our fastest lap. What is Zillage's fastest lap? 118. Why are they showing the Golden Gate Bridge? I think my dog might have something to say. All right, that was a word from my dog. Some very good knowledge. He tried, but he had to train associates, unfortunately. And Jason said he appreciates all the kind words and prayers. Thanks for everyone for doing that. Definitely, Jason. Yeah, the knee, anything with knees or back, I mean, that worries me because of how important they are. Seeing Connor Zillich, he snuck into the conversation here. This is going to stack the field back up and probably present Connor with a few easy passes. I wouldn't say easy, but it's going to, group up the field and allow him to cut the deficit, cut the gap to the leader, put more guys within his reach, and then perhaps by the end of the first stage, he might be in a position to run in the top 10 during the next stage. Oh yeah, that's exactly what my dog is saying, by the way. You nailed it, Michael. My wife made a triple cheeseburger right before we went live, and I didn't eat it. I had to come in here and start the stream. And so no doubt he's smelling that and wishing he could have some. No kidding. I rewatched that stream like 3 times last night. Just rewatching the race, like seeing what I could have done differently or like what went wrong. And I think we did really well. We were extremely patient, extremely conservative in giving people their spots back on track if they went below the yellow, or like giving people room below the yellow, letting off and not just completely destroying people. Or like if we accidentally moved up the track, because sometimes pushers will shove you up the track, instead of just diving back down and potentially wrecking myself or the car to the inside, I just let them have the spot, fall back a few, and within 5 laps I would be back in the lead. It was a very good race for us until that last lap. And I rewatched that first wreck on lap 22 going into 23. We did not touch that guy. We didn't touch Kenny. If you slow it down to 25% speed, which I saw it when it happened live, and that's why I was so confused and so delayed to like turn back to the left. We never touched. And you actually see, like, before our cars would have made contact, his car gets sideways. And so I start moving to the left. His car is just following at this point. And then his car straightens out. And when the rear end comes back around, that's when we make contact and it just takes us off track. So the game, the internet thought we had made contact way before we actually did. That ticks me off. But it is what it is. And then the internet screwed us one more time there at the very end. But it is what it is. We're at that one. They redeemed themselves. Any specific reason? It's not a buffet guy, but if he had a good time, he had a good time. Jason said he needs to get off here and head home. See everyone tomorrow for the Cup race. Have a great night and a great and safe night. Don't forget how truly blessed we all are for our NASCAR family, for sure. Cruz had nothing on SVG. Let's see what their best laps are in comparison. Yeah, Cruz, his peak potential. Not as good as Alfredo right now. Alfredo at one point in the race had the Xfinity fastest lap, but I believe Jesse Love still has that. Yeah, Jesse Love's still with our Xfinity fastest lap. Chastain top 10 right now. And Zilich up to 17th. Couple tenths back from 16th. All the food was good. I'm worried about what that says. I'm skeptical. I don't really think there's ever been a deviation in quality when I've been there. Like, I just, you know, you pay like $20 or how, I don't care how much it is. I'm just throwing out a number. You pay that number, and I never feel like I eat that much food to make it worth it to pay that number. When I could have went to Chick-fil-A and gotten a 20-piece nugget and been happier for the same price. So Jeb Burton off the track there. Uh-oh. Dean Thompson around as well. Only one caution so far for a tire carcass on track. Burton just ran wide there. That'll happen. Some negative banking in that corner, so you miss your turn. You can just slip right off the track. SVG now with our Xfinity fastest lap, and he did that, what, 13 laps into a run? So watch out. SVG was sandbagging the whole time. That's right, Michael, that's right. Zilich getting by Sawalich here. He's going to set his sights on 14th place. That'll be Carson Quaffle. About a second between those two. A little less than a second now. Zilich just needs to make sure he takes care of it. He definitely has the time to get up there to fight the leader. Brandon Jones off the pace. Maybe electrical problem? Why are they not talking about this? Not sure why this car shut off. They have yellow meated watermelon. I don't like referring to the inside of a watermelon as meat. I'm not a fan of that. Look at Alfredo. They had a lot of pigs last week, so I'm not surprised by this. And, you know, until we see SVG get gapped, and I'm not saying we will, it's impossible to say if SVG is just saving his stuff or not. So not a great day for Brandon Jones. The 20 car has had a ton of bad luck lately, not just in this series, but just in general, the 20 car. Yeah, Parker Retzloff's he's been doing really well this season. Had a lot of speed, and Alfredo's picked it up the last few weeks. So that team for sure is putting out some impressive runs. Good to see you, Doodlebug. So about the yellow meated watermelon. It's interesting, it's unique, but it's not anything crazy. If it tasted different, that would blow my mind. What I want is I want someone to make a grape that's like the size of an apple. Just a massive grape. I think that'd be awesome. Connor Zilic down pit road. He's going to flip the stage from further back. And SVG just laid down another Xfinity fastest lap. Back up and see. Look at that lap here in a second. Almost into the 116 bracket. At 117.02 there. Way faster than the field there. All guy with a decent enough lap, though. 17.3. Pretty much 17.4. Alex LeBay down there at 118. Not great in comparison. So the running order is going to get really shaken up here with a lot of guys coming down to flip the stage. Connor Zilic speeding penalty. He's going to have to do all of this over again. This whole first stage was for nothing. That's tragic. Michael says, get ready for a triple-digit heat next week. Get your air conditioners ready. Good, they need it. Yeah, it's already been hot this week. We had we were very fortunate to have as mild of a spring as we did. And, it was still hot a few days, but way below the maximum temps that we normally see around this time of year. And that kind of ended this last week. I think Tuesday was about the last cool day. So Zilic did take his pass through. He may still be able to somewhat flip. He may not start in the tail end, but he will be close to the tail end. SVG, if he wanted to just be a jerk, he could have potentially just ran to the end of the stage and put Connor a lap down. He would have put several guys a lap down. So Anthony Alfredo cycling to the lead here. It does not look like he is going to flip the stage. So Alfredo going for stage points here. Brent Cruz only 4/10 back right now. So Brent Cruz able to make another charge. With 2 laps to go, that is not much of a gap. I hope Alfredo can get this. Yeah, Zilic is going to have to do a lot more passing. Not convinced Alfredo can hold off Cruz. It's really close. Cruz is all over him. Did not get a good exit off that corner. That's going to cost him a little bit. All right, he's going to have one more really good passing opportunity here. I don't think he's close enough at this point. It's only the first stage. You don't really want to end your day here going for one stage point. Alfredo coming up on lap traffic. Going to get off of 11 really well. And he's going to take stage 1. Brandon Cruz second. Taylor Gray third. Parker Retzloff fourth. And Corey Day fifth. Not bad. Good to get stage points. Corey Day really needs them after DNFing a few times this season. All right. Where did everyone shake out there? Caution is out. So SVG, first car on the flip strategy. 25th, Justin Allgaier. And Zilich isn't too far back here. And even though the time deficit's pretty massive, it looks like he was able to stay on the lead lap and will only be, what, 9 positions behind SVG? That's not bad. So what could have been not really day ending, but day disrupting for Zilich really wasn't that much of a penalty. There's only a few guys here that he would have actually been in front of had he have not made that mistake. That's wild. Brennan Jones broke a transmission. That's rough. Michael says next week in his area, it's going to be possible to get to 100. It's going to be hot in his area. Yeah. I partially don't like the hot part of the year, not just because like the temperature, but because the threat of like big rain showers and severe weather kind of goes away. I enjoy the thunder and lightning. A small chance of showers here later. We had a chance this morning too, and it actually looked like it might, but everything stayed north. What a shame. What a shame. That could be us. Let's take a look at see what Twitter and J-Ski are saying about this race. This is the PitBoss FoodMaxx 250. Purse is $1.6 million. 1.66. Not bad. Field window 35 laps, according to J-Ski. Keep that in mind. This next stage will technically be a bit longer, but with the caution laps, it'll actually be about equal to stage 1. Rest of the field coming down here. Anthony Alfredo and Brent Cruz lead the way. My right leg is asleep, and my dog is all over it. That's fantastic. We do have a replay of Jeb Burton going across the dirt, doing some landscaping. Michael says he has an air conditioner in his bedroom already. All he needs to do is take his window fan out close and turn on the air conditioner. He's going to need it for next week. Yeah. Why did SVG fall back 5 spots? We'll have to see the running order when we get back. We may have had a few guys. Yeah, I don't think this is accurate at the moment, Jackson. These guys just came down pit road. So I think SVG is going to cycle back to the lead. If I had to guess, when they just got to the scoring loop, that's when... these are the positions they were in when they hit the scoring loop. The pace car goes 45 miles per hour, and the pit road speed is 40. So I wouldn't doubt this running order is very scrambled, and we probably won't get a more updated one for another couple minutes. There's SVG, and the 4 in front of him had not pit yet. So I think he's going to cycle back to the lead. And from what I saw, I thought Justin was going to cycle to second. Maybe not, but Sillage not too far back. By the end of the stage, he might be able to be up there in the top 5. I don't know if he'll have enough pace to run down SVG, but if he can keep it clean, if he can stay penalty-free, he should have a shot to run with SVG in the 3rd stage. Hmm. What service am I watching on? I'm watching through the CW. I have the CW up on my antenna and through YouTube TV as well. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, same here. I'm glad that you got your account back. Your main account. I like when I'm just scrolling through Twitter and I see the first reply is you. Yeah, I love antenna TV. No internet involved, no buffering. As long as you have signal, you're all right. Oh yeah, my dog is going to hate the fireworks here in a couple weeks. I'm gonna have to give him PTSD before like make popcorn the next few nights. Put on some thunder videos. That's what I did last year. I just put on some like thunder videos. It's not the sound of the fireworks. It's the percussive force against the window. It sounds like someone's tapping on the window. Uh-oh, Justin Allgaier's going to go around. Well, his rough time here on the West Coast continues. He's typically so good out here. All right, so SVG back to the lead. No surprise there. Jesse Love to second. And Connor Zilic up to 8th right now. Probably about to make the pass for 7th. All over the back of Sheldon Creed right now. Actually, 3 wide for 7th. So Zilic might be able to grab a few of these in short order. All right, a couple guys running side by side. That's Sammy Smith and I guess Sheldon Creed. So where does Zilic go here? All right, Sammy Smith clear right now. Connor Zilic side by side with Sheldon Creed. Zilic is going to hold really strong here. So now Zilic clear. And that's going to bring Carson Quaffle into the conversation. Quaffle and Creed now side by side. Quaffle leaning all over Sheldon Creed. Sam Mayer and Harrison Burton side by side here. Burton's able to hold him off for one more corner. So Zilich back up to 6th. Blaine Perkins around again. Rough day for him. Really rough day. I don't know how much Corey Day had to do with Blaine Perkins going around, but that was a really aggressive dive bomb into 11. Austin Green's had a really good day so far in terms of his average running position. Not bad. After obliterating his primary car, I wasn't sure how that team would run today. So move Zilich up to 4th. He's at about a second and a half back from Sam Mayer in front of him. Harrison Burton off track. A lot of dirt in the air right now. Harrison's going to lose probably 25 spots here. Oh, we have another car off the pace. I don't know who that was. Ross Chastain. That's a shame. He'd been running inside the top 10 last stage. What happened to Ross? Might be another transmission. Well, we have another caution out. I think it's probably for Chastain. I wouldn't doubt it's for him dropping fluid. I wonder if they really just threw it for Ross. Oh, what happened to the leaderboard? Go ahead and close that out, and I'll just reopen it. This will be a pain, but and we're back. But I also have to get the columns pulled back up. Manufacturer up, test lab, up. There we go. Get a few things sorted there. Let's see if we have any other replays from the CW. Yeah, we do have a replay of the Allgaier spin at the start of the stage. Definitely a disappointing start to stage 2 for Justin, but this caution will give him a chance to catch back up a bit. But he'll have a lot of work to do, a lot of work in front of him, and especially disappointing after the really rough week they had last week. And this is Harrison Burton's trip through the grass. What's left of it, at least. I'm gonna get some water while we're under caution. I'll be right back. As I was walking out, I saw that on TV. I thought the same thing. I love that map so much. I just sit there in my tower, just on the roof of that building. I just sit there the whole game, not shooting at anybody. But if they come up to me, I mess them up. Let my buddies run around and just shoot people, die, come back. I'm just buying loadouts the whole game. It's a great time. Let's see if we have anything else from the CW before we click away. Well, that's the last thing. Now, we've had several guys off track, several guys go around, but other than that, it's been just an average Sonoma race so far. Nothing too crazy. One thing you have to think about with the caution coming out there is this will put Zilich further into the conversation. Gonna restart on the second row here. Really good opportunity for Zilich to apply some pressure to SVG before the end of this stage. So stage 3 shaping up to be a really good one. Michael says next Saturday's 4th of July and America's 250th birthday. That's right. I have tickets to a baseball game that day, so I'm not sure. We may be live next Saturday. We might not be. We'll have to figure it out. Double A says it's also his dad's wife's birthday. Is she also 250? Not her weight. Is she 250 years old? I don't suppose it's that much better to ask about a woman's age, but if she's 250 years old, good night. It's not every day you ask a lady if she's 250. I said that and I was like, ugh. That wasn't worded the best. Yeah. About dad's wife's age. All right, restarting. Front row, SVG. Jesse Love to the inside. He's got the inside on these first two corners, but not able to get by SVG, so SVG is going to have the advantage through the next few corners. SVG almost clear. And SVG clear here. So Sam Mayer third. Zilich side by side with Mayer. Zilich has to be careful here. All right, Zilich to third. So Jesse Love better keep an eye on that mirror. His best buddy, Connor Zilich, is right behind him and closing. That's right, it is Michael's birthday. Next Saturday's race is at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. We might have time to go live. We might. If I had to guess, the baseball game will probably start in the late evening. Double A says it's so sad, but Sonoma has to be the worst track on the schedule. I don't know if I would go that far, but it's never been one of my favorites. Even back when we only had 2 road courses, Watkins Glen was a clear favorite, in my opinion. I think if there was a change of scenery, the track might be regarded a little better in terms of, like, if we came here in April or May or even in the early spring when we do the rest of the West Coast swing. That way the track would still be green. And we used to come here back when the track was green. The reasoning they don't is they say that the campgrounds could be flooded. But that's no problem at any other NASCAR track. Like, Bristol flooded with like 4 feet of water one time. And they didn't cancel the race. They didn't move the race. They just, you know, dealt with it. I've never been the biggest fan of Sonoma, but it's unique, you know, it's in that West Coast market that they pretend to care about. I think probably worst track on the schedule. And you can make an argument against this for a few reasons, like New Hampshire, maybe. But honestly, the races at New Hampshire the last few years haven't been as bad as they were. So maybe it's going up a bit in the rankings, but you know, obviously Martinsville and Bristol have struggled over the last few years, Talladega, in terms of the Cup racing, but the other series do fine there at those places, so that's okay. It probably comes down to like Pocono and Indianapolis. And Pocono, the fans love it. The fans that go to the track, they love Pocono. And I'm happy for them. But Pocono sucks. It really does. And Indianapolis is like 4-turn version of Pocono. The 90-degree angle version. It's a great historic track. It's a great facility just outside of Indianapolis. And it just doesn't put on very good Cup racing. My dog will eat anything. He's not the brightest. Even if it's not meant to be eaten, if I just point at it, it's gone. He's like a vacuum cleaner. It's actually pretty awesome. King says he thinks Coda's the worst track. Gen 7, you know, with this next gen car, you know, it's been pretty rough. I was there for the first one with the Gen 7 car, and I was expecting a really good race because that was the first Gen 7 road course, and we had heard how amazing this car was going to be on the road courses, and the road courses had been bangers for the last, like, 6 seasons. We just had banger after banger on the road courses. Just really close battles, you know, guys able to beat and bang towards the finish. Guys sliding the cars around, and then I go, and it's just a stinker of a race, aside from the last lap. I was so excited when Alex Bowman took the lead, and then Ross Chastain committed genocide on Allmendinger and Bowman. I was still excited for Chastain. I liked Chastain back then, so I was okay with it. But I was less excited than if it was the 88 winning. Or was he 48? Anyway. He was one of the numbers. Yeah, Indianapolis works well for the open wheel guys. They have a ton of downforce, a ton of speed, and they're able to run too wide on occasion. In the especially the current Cup car, you can't really get away with that. And it's a very like one groove track, a very preferred groove. And with this Gen 7 car the way it is, you can't follow guys into the corner. There's too much aero wake, and it's never been the greatest racing at Indy for the Cup car. It's historic. It's a, you know, it's a great market to be in. It's just not the best fit for a giant stock car, which if you don't think about it as a traditional oval and you think about it as a 4-turn road course, it might change your perspective a bit. Because it definitely does not race like your average oval. Very flat and very high speeds. Double A says IndyCar should run Sonoma. I believe they have in the past. They just ran a modified course. They didn't run the hairpin. Sonoma was iconic. Yeah, I mean, I remember playing Sonoma in some of the early EA games back when it was called Sears Point and then Infineon. It took me ages to stop calling it Infineon. I almost grabbed the old logo, one of the old logos. Sometimes I do that. Even when the track has updated the name or the logo, I just go with whichever one I like the best. But I went ahead and put Sonoma, just so people would be very clear on what is happening. But like for Daytona, I use the iconic logo. For Talladega, I used the old logo. Darlington, I used the old logo. I don't know. NASCAR just went through a phase of updating tons of logos. And most of them were not as good as the old ones. Yeah, the old Talladega logo is so much better. This new one looks like you could make it on Microsoft Paint. It looks like I could make it. And that's saying something, because I have no graphic design capability. But yeah, Stacy said she doesn't like every road course besides Watkins Glen and Road America and Daytona Road Course. I like the Daytona Road Course a lot. I thought it was so cool when the Cup cars ran it because I had wanted to see that. My whole life, I had wanted to see that. They used AI. That was too far back, probably, for AI, right? They debuted that a few years ago, before Gen AI was decent. It's wild how good AI can be sometimes, and like look really. I mean, you can look at the text and it looks fine. The details, the very minute details, look fine, but you can still tell. Like it's just a look to it. A lot of Gen AI just has a look, and so you're like, that's AI. And there's actually AI tools to make photos look less AI generated. That's wild. Like for a while, they had, a lot of people called it the piss filter over the AI photos. It would all have this like yellow tint to it. Speaking of Watkins Glen in the Michelin Pilot Challenge, there were 2 cautions at the end of the race because the curve and the bus stop came up in sections on 2 separate laps. That's crazy. I didn't see that one. I saw the Mustang race earlier, and I saw the start of the Porsche race. Porsche. And then I finally fell asleep. I was wired after that race last night. I had a really good time. Like, extremely disappointed with the finish, but it was a really fun race. I thought we ran really well. I don't think we're going to run that well next week. I've already done a few hundred laps of testing at Martinsville, and it is not good. Not good. We are in trouble. All right, SVG flipping the stage. Connor Zilic has our Xfinity fastest lap. I didn't see when that happened. Yeah, 10th faster than SVG. So Zilic staying out, it looks like. Interesting decision from Zilic to stay out here. I'm guessing they're trying to one-stop this to the end. I thought our fuel window was 35 laps. I think they can maybe make it from here with the right set of circumstances. Weird lap count. It's 79 laps total, 36 to go at the moment. Probably actually 35 to go right now. I think our leaderboard lap count runs about a lap behind. Yeah, very, very tight to the end. Jayski said 35 laps for the pit window. I think if anyone has a good shot to win while saving fuel, it would be SVG. He could save for the first 25 laps of the stage until Connor gets back up there, and then push to the end. But it's like different strategies, very different. You have guys that are trying to stretch from here that are going to be on the defense. They're going to be saving, and then you're going to have, I mean, Connor's still going to be close too, don't get me wrong, but he's going to be able to be a bit more aggressive. Justin Allgaier back in 30th. That's crazy. As soon as he got locked into the chase on points, he's had the worst runs possible. Man, I like Justin. I met Justin back in 2012, maybe, in Indianapolis. I think it was 2012. I had the chance to put Zillich and SVG on the thumbnail, and I didn't. I put Austin Hill on there because I thought it was funnier. And he really hasn't done much today. You think no Justins? Thank goodness that... Wait. We have some Justins here in the chat. What does that mean? What does that mean? 87 high school sports. His name is Justin. I just did. Let's look back here. So Jesse Love probably going to restart in second. Someone might try to stay out here. We'll see. This would be Jesse Love's shot to see if he can maybe hang with SVG. Yeah. Yeah, he used to have a different name, but then he rebranded his channel to be focused more on reporting on local high school sports. But he also still does some gaming streams. We'll just have to see how things shake out here. I'll go back to Twitter and see if we have any updates over there. Nope. Nothing in the last 27 minutes. You're thinking about changing your name? Again? Phasmophobia is dead 50. Oh, that's very good. That's very creative. It looks like just about everyone up front's coming in. So these guys will be able to go on the attack. They have to hope we go caution-free to the end. That's a good one. That's a good one. I really hope that everyone's rank resets in Black Ops 1 and 2. I really do. If it transfers over and I don't have it, I'm going to be very, very irritated. They didn't have a tire secured on that 8 car for Sammy Smith. That's really bad. That's really bad. Ranks do reset confirmed today. Let's go. So I don't have to worry. Played it on Xbox, so you're going to be starting from 0 anyway. Good. Good. Everyone will suffer with me. Everyone has to unlock their pro perks again. Their 15 prestige. Their all gold. All that. Oh, they got to start all the way over. Got to unlock your colored clan tags. All the stuff. I hope they leave custom emblems. And they better let me get my old clan tag back. They better. Even though I kind of like running without it, because you run as a clan, then people expect you to do well, and if you don't, it's not good. Yeah, I don't plan on changing my name. Google tried to get us to change it for the longest time. Back when I don't know if you guys remember this, but they tried to make their own social media site called Google Plus. And it didn't catch on. But during that, they wanted everyone on YouTube to get rid of their usernames and use their personal name. They asked me multiple times, and in confusing ways, if I wanted to switch, but I kept turning them down. Like, no, I don't want to switch. I want to keep my branded account. And that's caused some headaches because not every feature for personal accounts exists for branded accounts. But it is what it is. Sammy Smith getting a penalty. You didn't want to be max prestige? Yeah, I mean, I guess you still have something to work forward to. Or, like, make some progression. This, Monopoly Simpsons crossover they keep advertising week after week. The first time I saw it, I thought Mr. Monopoly was legitimately showing up on the TV show. I was like, that's interesting. I'm not going to watch it, but that's interesting. And then they're like, no, it's just for a video game. No, thank you. If you're not progressing, you get really bored. I just know how long it will take to get back to 15 prestige, especially without, like, no-lifing double XP weekend anytime they have those. It's going to take forever. It's gonna be tough. And then especially to do it on Black Ops 1 and 2. On Black Ops 1 and 2, I was max prestige with all gold and all diamond. Including all, like, the garbage weapons, the shield, the executioner, all the rocket launchers, all the snipers, everything. Did it all. So, yeah, I mean, Black Ops 1's going to be my main focus, but I'll probably get 2 as well. Thank you, Doodlebug. Thank you. We get the red, white, and blue on. America 250. Really, any of the hats that I have up here are all red, white, and blue. My Pepsi hat. My 5 Kellogg's car hat. All right, SVG's crew chief thinks he's good to the end. You want a remastered version of World at War? That'd be cool, but I think a lot of people would hate it. I think that would be like, obviously, it would be cool to have the multiplayer back, but kind of like COD 4, it's very simplistic compared to modern day Call of Duty in terms of like mechanics, plus like just everything is a bit more scaled down. But that would be a great one just to, if they actually wanted to like just bring back the multiplayer, that's fine, but they could completely remaster the campaign. I think it would sell pretty well. It was a really good campaign. One of my favorites. I don't know if it is my favorite, but it's one of. I've definitely played it the most out of all the campaigns. I've probably played that campaign through 50, 60 times, if not more. OGMW2 was kind of broken because the team that developed the game all got like fired and left the company right after it was released. And so the game kind of stayed in a pretty broken state with like one-man army. The noob tubes being ridiculous. Only a few things got patched. And so if that game came back today, it would be, which it might, apparently the rumor is it's coming back in August. It is going to be ridiculous. And that's back when kill streaks stacked on kill streaks. So if you got lucky at the start of the game with a few noob tubes, suddenly you had a Predator, suddenly you had an AC-130, and then you have your nuke. What a game. What a game. All right, so SVG back to the lead. Love not able to stay with him. And Alfredo, our stage winner from stage 1. 3rd place, Corey Day 4th. Taylor Gray 5th, Austin Hill 6th, 7th, Parker Retzloff, and 8th, Connor Zilic. And Austin Green, after obliterating turn 11, the outside wall of turn 11, he's running top 10. He's had a really good day in the backup car. I mean, I loved Reznov so much. When I saw him pop back up in Black Ops, I was so excited. And then to play as Reznov and see Dimitri get gassed. That was traumatizing. We just replayed that mission maybe last week. It's crazy. That was Gary Oldman. Like, he's a big name actor. They pulled in the Gary Oldman to be Reznov. Zilic not really burning through the field right now. He's all over the back of Retzloff. Where's Rajah right now? Oh, 17th. He needs to run better in the 88. When he's in the 32, I'm like, okay, he needs to finish top 15. When he's in the 88, he needs to finish top 10 to make the most out of these days in the good junior motorsports equipment. It's like Dean Thompson around there in the 26 car. He got a little help there. Is that from Brennan Poole? Kyle Busch was in the original 2026 NASCAR and TNT promo before, but Reddick in the promo instead when he wasn't in the original one. No, he won the first 3 races. That that is interesting. I mean, I guess just for the slate of races TNT was, you know, expected to run. Kyle Busch had like top 5 pace the last, I think, 3 years he'd been here. So I think a lot of people were expecting Kyle Busch to run well this weekend. And Zillage back up to 4th. He's about a 1.5 seconds back from Alfredo. Zillage does barely still have our Xfinity fastest lap. SVG's not too far off. It's very close. I think they're the only 2 drivers that have run a sub 117 lap. Brent Cruz being the next closest, but he's at a 117.01. Double A said Chase Elliott racing next weekend. I don't even remember where we are next weekend. Is that Atlanta? Oh, Chicagoland. That's right. That'll be a fun one. That'll be a fun one. Yeah, see, Doodlebug was quick on that. Good to see you, Zach. Chastain actually had a problem, a mechanical issue. He was running top 10, and he is now out of the race, sadly. If Atlanta was 1 hour closer, I would go to Atlanta. I hate driving to Atlanta. And it's not just driving to Atlanta, it's driving to Atlanta, then south. So, like, it's even further. Disgusting. Yeah, they should have had Gordon run North Wilkesboro. He could have defended his points race win. Zillage up to 3rd. Less than a second behind are Jesse Love. Closing in. 0.6 is the gap right now. While we're under the side-by-side, I'm going to step away for a moment, probably for the last time. Yeah, the Cup Series will be running the Brickyard. A Formula One shirt. They have some good looking stuff. IndyCar also has a lot of really good looking merchandise, but it's expensive. Very expensive stuff. Week from yesterday. All right. So Zach about to have a birthday. So Michael had a birthday this week. Zach with today. And Zach with a birthday in less than a week. How about that? SVG and Zilich are now first and second. 4-second gap. 20 laps to go. So Zilich is really going to have to use his stuff up to get up there to SVG. Corey Day with a smoking right front. The tire might clearance itself if it can pop the body out on one of these hard right-handers. But anyway, yeah, Connor's going to have to abuse this stuff here to catch up to SVG. SVG can just save fuel and save his tires. Zach's is his dark horse for this race. Jesse Love or Sammy Smith. In the winner, Connor Zilich. Jesse Love was a really good pick. I mean, I think the Viking guys were good picks as well. But it's just hard to pick against SVG and Connor. And especially with how much Connor's had to deal with today. He's definitely passed the most cars throughout the course of the race. But I think a caution would really help out Zilich here. Stack the field back up and give him one more shot without having to burn his stuff up. And Zilich increased the gap of his fastest lap to 1:16.5, and Brent Cruz has jumped under the 117 range. He just ran a 1:16. I'm not sure when he did that. Brent Cruz, little contact there with Corey Day. They both continue through the S's. It does not look like Austin Hill's going to go back-to-back today. Raja about a second and a half behind Sammy Smith. And Justin Allgaier there. So the JRM guys, for the most part, all around each other. 15th, 16th, and 17th. Let's go further back on the leaderboard and see what we can see. Not a great day for Jeremy Clements. The Burton brothers, also disappointing. And Ross Chastain, mechanical issues. Brandon Jones had issues earlier. Justin Allgaier off track again. I would not be shocked to see Justin win next week at Chicagoland. Next 5 cup races on TNT. That is right. That is right. I would love if Prime just bought those races out. Their coverage is so good and makes even the most boring races just feel electric. Which I think it's been a pretty good season so far. Like, sure, we're getting the same winners pretty much every week. It's still been really fun to watch. Interesting. Was it a middle-aged white guy that made the comment? And by middle-aged, I mean probably like nearing 60. Did he smell like Marlboros? That's the image I have in my head. The kind of person that would make that comment. USA has 10 races, NBC has 4. I didn't know NBC had any races, honestly. Probably late 50s. Yep, I thought so. I like when I'm out in big cities and people comment on my hat. Like big northern cities that, you know, you wouldn't expect watch NASCAR or like just anywhere. It's older people. Like I'll get some young guys our age that'll be, oh dude, great hat, or like cool shirt, cool jacket, whatever. But the old guys will be like, they'll see the 24 or they'll see the 3. And they're like, oh yeah, you a Gordon fan? Like, well, I was. And he's like, yeah, me too. Now I'm more of a Byron guy. Like, oh, yeah, man, I just like the 24 car. Byron's all right, but I'm more of a fan of the 24. Scroll back up here. That gap is not getting smaller. Connor needs a caution here. Daytona in the final 3. Well, at least I'll be able to watch 4 races on the antenna. And the final 3 being on antenna is pretty sick. But, yeah. I didn't know NBC had any races because I know NBC and USA they're no longer the same company. They spun USA off into its own thing. So I wasn't sure how much they were going to cooperate throughout the season. It's just, it's really disappointing to me that, 85% of the schedule is on a cable network or on a streaming service. That is crazy. So if you only have an antenna, like, sure, you could pull in the whole Xfinity season or O'Reilly season, but you don't get to watch really any of the truck season, maybe a couple races, and then you get to see like 5 races on Fox maybe, and then 4 on NBC. That's it. Thankfully resources like DD12 work. I changed the command to redirect people to the new website. That was the big news this last week. DD12 streams got taken down. I don't know how he does it. You go to the website, but you also see there's a Twitch chat, and there's like Twitch subs and stuff. Like, how does he do that? Apparently there were people tagging like the website underneath certain NASCAR drivers' tweets. And so it got a lot of publicity in the last couple weeks because of that. And that's probably how NASCAR found it. So since we went from commercial, Connor's cut that gap down about a second. Oh, your TV's pretty much dead? That's what Zach says. If you know or don't mind sharing the info, like what size and model of TV are you trying to replace? Because I could try to keep an eye out and see if I could find like a good price on a TV. I'm sure like Walmart in your area probably has decent enough TVs. But occasionally I stumble across a really good deal, but I already have enough televisions. It's like I don't have a need to replace them at the moment. Maybe in like 5 years I'll replace one of them. As long as they stay working. So Zillich has now lost half a second. I mean, there's a decent ways to go, but Connor needs a caution to like really close this thing back up. I think SVG's got this one in the bag for what, the second year in a row? Yeah, SVG's just doing his thing. I think he's just managing the gap. He knows Connor's having to push it to the limit every lap, and SVG might not even be driving the limit right now. He could still somewhat be saving fuel. He's definitely saving his stuff. He could probably have a 10-second gap on the field right now if he wanted. Now, he's not as good in these cars, or even in the... He's even worse in the trucks. Not bad, but at least the field has a chance when he's in the truck series racing a road course. But he's still just really good. And I think he's getting better in the O'Reilly car. I think he's getting better. This looks a lot more like what he does in the Cup Series. So like used to, I would say like, oh man, if we were in the old car, if we were in the Gen 6 car, I think certain guys might be able to keep up a bit more. And maybe that's true. But with enough seat time, SVG could probably beat any of them. He's so good. It's really annoying how good he is. Toshiba model. Let me Google that. I'll just like see, do you have Discord, Zach? You could join our Discord, and that way I can like message you if I ever find it. There's this like deals finder. I'm not able to find it. You don't have Discord? Well, if you ever do get Discord, you can hop in there with us. But if not, you know, we are always here. I'm not able to find that TV. Do you just know like what size it is? It might even be cheaper to I don't know how you feel about projectors. I don't think they're as good, especially the cheaper ones, but in the short term, like a projector might be a good replacement. Like a smart projector. I've always considered getting one, but I've never pulled the trigger on a projector. I just think that would be cool to like throw up on the wall. Even though like it wouldn't look great. Yeah, we have a little Discord for the community. So a lot of the guys that you see in here are over in the Discord throughout the week, and we just talk about racing or rumors, things that are going on, talking about the live streams after they end. Just keeping up with each other throughout the week. It's pretty fun. Double A says he needs a new TV. His is from like 2011. The TV I'm watching right now is from probably around 2011. I have like this TV behind me is a few years old, but it's not hooked up to the antenna, and it's too big to go where this television is. And this is a dumb TV. It doesn't even have smart capability. It only goes up to 1080p. The screen itself is like kind of cracked. I don't know how it happened. I just think it got so old. But it still works. It's also like missing the power button. I don't have the remote. Thankfully, the remote for the TV behind me works for that TV as well. But it is still putting in service. It is still getting it done. When I started playing Black Ops 1 in 2010, I still had a tiny little CRT. Awful quality. I couldn't even tell what the little emblems were when you died in Search and Destroy. I didn't know what they were. Turns out they're purple hearts. I didn't know that because I couldn't see that level of detail. And I went from that little CRT to like a couple years later, moving up to this television. Oh my goodness. It was like jumping into the future. And it is still just going at it. I refuse to get rid of this thing. It still works. And they were 3 wide there. And Alfredo really made the most of that there. Ooh, a little contact there with Love. Man, we had some great racing today. Maybe not towards the lead, but further back in the pack. These guys are all over each other. Got a flat screen when NW3 came out. That may have been around the time I got mine. It may have been a bit later. I didn't play a ton of NW3 because the guys I played with, you know, King, one of our other buddies that never jumps in here because, you know, he has like a life and a job and family. So he's never in here. He didn't like MW3. And so we never bought the DLC for it. Like back then they had like COD Elite to get all the DLC. We didn't do any of that. We just stayed on Black Ops 1 for an additional, like, 2 years. I played a little MW3. Probably prestiged a few times. I think MW3 has a great campaign. The whole, like, Eiffel Tower falling and all that stuff. It was so easy to get guns gold in MW3. I think they started cheapening the gold camo at MW3. Really, there hasn't been a Call of Duty that made getting gold as hard as Black Ops 1 was. You had to get to 14 prestige minimum, and then 50,000 COD points per gold camo. And then if you prestige to 15, they got rid of all of that. You had to do it again. Corner to corner on the top. 31. So I think they measure horizontal. So if I'm not sure what that would be. DD12 is back. Yeah, it's called, well, if you scroll up and see the bots message, yes, it is back. It has a different name now. I'm hesitant to say it because I don't want it to get banned again. Google is telling me that it might be a 32-inch. So I'll keep an eye out for a decent TV. And honestly, like, I don't know if you're on Facebook, but Facebook Marketplace, it can be sketchy, but you might be able to find a good deal on an older TV on Marketplace, because a lot of people upgrade to like bigger TVs, newer TVs, and they just throw out their old one. Or they just try to get rid of it for like bare minimum price, really just for someone to come over there and grab it. Oh, 38, not bad. Yeah, so Marketplace might be if you don't mind a used TV, might be your best bet. One day this TV's just gonna have a stroke and die. It's it's so old on its last leg. Man. But it has been my workhorse for what? Almost 15 years. Oh yeah, I gotta check in for today's race. I never did that. Even though Stacy oh, I did do that. Okay. Yeah, if you guys are a member of NASCAR Fan Rewards, the free loyalty program on NASCAR.com and on the NASCAR mobile app, you can check in for today's race, earn free points you can redeem for merchandise, for car parts, for rides in the pace car. You can wave the green flag at practice or qualifying. Enter in sweepstakes with your points. You can get gift cards. You can get tickets to races. It's free to join, free to be a part of. And there are several ways to earn points. And if you're not, and you're tuning in each week, you're leaving free money on the table. Even if you don't want to get merchandise and stuff, at the end of the season, you can still cash out for like a $25 Walmart gift card or something and get some free groceries, you know? I give the old one to his uncle who cuts the cords in old appliances and takes the copper out of them. Not bad, not bad. Do you get die cast with it? You can. Now, you got to earn a lot of points to get the die cast, but there are, like, if you stay at it, you set your fantasy lineups every week. You do the fantasy, your fantasy lineups. You do the trivia on Tuesday and Thursday. You check in for every race each weekend. Over the course of, like, 2 seasons, you'll get up to All-Star. And then after you get to All-Star, you get more points per stuff you do. For buying merchandise, you get points. For buying race tickets, you get points. Like, there are so many ways to get points. But it's free to join, free to be a part of. And you can get diecast. And I'm not sure if they currently have it, but my first year, the rewards used to be a lot better. But I got a Fanatics gift card, and I got some like hats and stuff with it. NASCAR Fan Rewards. So you can find that on NASCAR.com or the NASCAR mobile app. And so like you'll just make a NASCAR account, like join Fan Rewards, then like you can set up your fantasy lineup after that. And all you do, each week you go in and you set your fantasy lineup, which I haven't done that all season, so I've been leaving points on the table. But during each race, from green flag to checkered flag, you just go to the app, you go to the website, whatever, and you just click check in. That's all you have to do. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, you answer the trivia question, and you get free points. You don't even have to get the question right. You just have to answer it. So it's a good program. We talk about it every week. It's like, I love it. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's still a great program to be a part of. And sometimes you get free stuff. I got 6 months free of SiriusXM last year. So I was able to listen to the radio calls whenever I wasn't able to watch the race. And like, they had like a buy two, get two on Goodyear tires at one point. So like, there's deals involved too. King just said, bro. SVG playing with his food. Yeah. He just had such a huge lead. Like, Zilic didn't get through the field as quick as he needed to. Zilic was able to cut about half a second there with SVG stuck behind Allgaier for the moment. Lap traffic could have a big impact on the end of this race, but it's only 2 laps to go. SVG's just taking it easy. Might be able to get a Jimmy Johnson shirt. Would you like would you prefer a Jimmy Johnson 48 shirt or a Jimmy Johnson 84 shirt? It'd be harder to get a 48 shirt, but not impossible. SVG and Zilic 13 to 17 seconds ahead of the lead pack. That is crazy. A 48, not bad, not bad. Yeah, we could make that happen. And Zilic was able to close in the deficit, but I think SVG's just taking it easy and maybe just not trying to put Allgaier a lap down. I don't know if he ever got by Justin. It's close. The gap is right at the deficit. Yeah, so SVG just didn't want to put Justin a lap down, it looks like. Nice guy. Coming around the final turn, SVG will be your winner of the PitBoss FoodMaxx 250 from Sonoma Raceway. How about that? How about that? What a race. What a race. Sandbag Van Gisbergen, that's right. He never looks like he's pushing it. He never. You see other guys sliding the rear tires, locking up the brakes. You never really see SVG do that. Except at that truck race at Watkins Glen, and he didn't have a good time. But these guys are insane. All right, ladies and gents, thank you guys for joining today. You nailed it. SVG wins the race. I wouldn't be shocked if he does it again. Oh, Taylor Gray just ran out of fuel. So Brandon Jones going to help Taylor Gray to the finish. This may or may not be legal. I think this should be legal. Hey, they finished. How about that? Let's just look the other direction. Zach says SVG was, or says Zilic was close. I think if Zilic had not, you know, been so far back when he got into second, he might have had a shot to stay with SVG. I don't know if he could have gotten around him. Shane was just kind of pedaling it around the track the last few laps. He wasn't really pushing it. I don't think he wanted to put Justin a lap down, considering that's technically a teammate in this series. And Justin's a full-timer. Yeah, we're going to look the other way. I like when guys get helped across the line. I think it's hilarious. I think that happened at Pocono. Who helped somebody at Pocono get across the line? Yeah, that PitBoss sponsoring the race. We have a PitBoss Smokeout sponsored burnout. Oh, look at SVG go. He tapped the wall a bit. Is he cheating? I love when people online pick apart every detail of the car, every detail of a celebration to like diagnose if someone's cheating, which they have caught a few people. I don't know if you guys remember Flexgate of the windshields flexing. Someone online caught Chase Elliott cheating when they had the little piece of tape on the spoiler that would like flip up like a wing at high speed. So they have caught a few people cheating before, but not everything you see is an attempt to cheat. Jimmy Johnson helped Chase Elliott to victory lane at Watkins Glen. That's right. That's right. That was a big moment. Yeah, I like it. I like the assist there at the end. Brennan Jones didn't have anything to lose, so he might as well help out, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't really impact Taylor Gray's finish at all either. The highest he would have finished, I mean, he would have finished in the same place. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, do you really even penalize that? SVG with a nice little rugby kick. Oh, man. Oh, they're fighting for it. Oh, they're scrambling. Oh, my goodness. They fumbled that so bad. One guy had it twice and missed it. Another guy came in. They're still fighting over it. He got it. He got it. He's so happy. I'm more happy for that guy than SVG. Good recovery for SVG after last week. You know, we kind of expected this, but SVG had a really disappointing naval base weekend. It would be so cool to catch that rugby ball after an SVG win and then take it to an SVG autograph session and get it signed. Wouldn't that be insane to have the actual ball? Like, it's on video that you caught it, so it's verified. You have the footage. Then you take it, you get it signed. Like, that's an all-time item right there. Like, sure, you could sell it, I'm sure, to some, like, loaded SVG fan, but you could definitely keep it. Oh, does he sign it before he kicks it? It still would be cool to get it signed again. Or at least get your photo with SVG with the ball. That would be cool. I didn't see him sign it if he did. Oh, he signs it before he kicks it. That's sick. So yeah, it would be cool to like just have it and go get your picture with SVG after. We might be live a bit later, but if we're not, thank you guys for joining. We will be live tomorrow for our NASCAR Cup Series coverage and our post-race show. So I hope to see you guys over there tomorrow. I think that race is about 2 hours earlier. I believe it's 3:30 Eastern maybe when that starts, around then. It'll be on TNT and then obviously DD12. So I hope to see you guys then. I hope it's a good race. I hope it is. But SVG is probably going to stink up the show. But we do have a points battle to watch. We're closing in on the chase. Michael says he won't be home tomorrow. Yeah, we are going to be missing a few people tomorrow. Stacy and Christian are going to be on vacation. They're going on a day trip to Pittsburgh. So hopefully that'll be fun for them. Hopefully they can eat some good food and have a good time. But we'll be here. And we will be thinking of you, Michael. We'll have a lot of people. I'll shout you guys out, even if you're not there. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Thank you for spending your Saturday with us and hanging out, talking about NASCAR, enjoying the race. And until next time, don't die.